welcome to another episode of Social Security, Securing Today and Tomorrow. I am Diana Varela, your host, and today we are going to talk about a topic that is not easy to talk about. Well, we must talk about disability because, as a matter of fact, statistics show that 1 of 4 workers that today is 20 years old will become disabled before retirement age. Social Security already provides benefits to more than 64 million people in the country. 8.5 million are workers that have become disabled, and we are paying benefits to 1.6 million dependents of those workers. We must speak about disability, and today we have a show that will provide you with important information, everything that you need to know about disability. We have Millie Rothwell with us to talk about this important topic. Millie, welcome.
Hi, Diana. Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure, Millie, having you here. You have a lot of expertise in the area and in the topic, and that's why we're very happy that you are able to join us. Tell us a little bit of what are your job responsibilities within our area.
Sure. I'm actually the Area Work Incentive Coordinator for the Area 3, and the areas that I actually oversee is actually Maryland, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And my primary job is to make sure that I provide services and guidance to the staff and the stakeholders, partners, and also the number holders in regards of work incentive, subsidies, and things that Social Security offer to the disabled individual to reincorporate themselves back into work.
Yes, and we are going to start from the very beginning, telling our viewers what is the definition of disability under Social Security laws and regulations.
Sure. Social Security has a very strict definition for disability, and that is that the main thing is that the individual actually is unable to engage in substantial gainful activity, which may translate to the individual unable to actually earn more than $1,220 per month gross amount, or if the person is actually blind, the person may earn more than $2,040 per month gross amount.
Less than the 2040.
That's a
and we still
2019.
can
Absolutely.
Consider an application for disability. Very good. Also, there is another eligibility requirement because it's not just the medical condition.
Correct. And also part of the definition for being disabled, it includes that the person had to have some sort of an impairment that prevents him from working, and also that it has a duration of 12 months or more. Part of the eligibility factors includes the individual actually being insured to apply for disability benefits with Social Security Administration.
And what does that really mean, to be insured under Social Security laws?
Sure. In general terms, the individual actually will have to have, if not, out of the last 10 years, 5 years of work. Also, there's other types of insured status that actually pertains to individuals who are actually much younger. But, you know, once the individual contact the Social Security Administration, that person will be able to find out more about the eligibility factors when it comes to have insured status for applying for disability.
Exactly, because the younger you are, the less credits and work activity that you need in your earnings history to become eligible for.
That is correct, absolutely.
And when can a person apply for disability benefits, Millie?
Well, once the individual find out that they have like an impairment or severe impairment that prevents him from working, the person should actually contact immediately Social Security Administration, request to have an appointment, or actually talk to one of the technicians in the office. And also, if the individual is actually, once they determine that the individual is actually insured, then we will be able to proceed and provide, you know, services and explain the process of disability for the individual. So as soon as the individual finds out that there's something impeding his ability to actually work, that person should contact Social Security immediately for an appointment.
Correct. And since a lot of workers become disabled when they are younger, they might have families. We have family benefits, correct?
That is correct too. So that means that if the worker applies for disability, then potentially their families, their spouses or children will be able to also receive, benefits under Social Security Act.
And for our viewers to have the clear idea of who can apply, what is the minimum age for the spouses or the children to apply for benefits if a worker becomes disabled and receives benefits?
Sure. If the individual is actually is receiving disability, then children's under the age of 18 or up to 19, if they're still enrolled in high school, they can actually receive what is called children's, benefits. For the spouses, they have several. I will say the exclusions, but typically if the mother is actually a stay-home mom or works and earns less than a certain amount of money, then that person potentially can be eligible to receive a mother's benefits if the child is in her care.
Yes, for children that are under 16 years old.
Exactly.
But we also have benefits even for children that are adults but disabled themselves.
That is correct, and those benefits are actually called adult disability benefits under the mother or father, and that child could be potentially eligible for those benefits. So we want to make sure that the worker and all the individuals applying for disability are informed, well informed about any type of benefits that Social Security may be able to provide their families. And it's very also important that when the number holder or the worker is applying for disability, that person will inform Social Security if they have a disabled child living within the household.
Correct. And in some cases, because of some disabling conditions, some illnesses, the worker will be deceased. We have survivors' benefits as well. Not just benefits when the worker is alive and just receiving disability, but also survivors. Can you tell us a little bit what type of survivors' benefits we have?
We do, actually. In the event that the worker passed away or is deceased, then we have what we call survivors benefits, and this will include also for the spouse, widow's benefits, or it could be auxiliary benefits for the children too. And this is something that is through the Social Security Administration.
Yeah, and we even have for survivors, for parents, if the worker was providing financial support to the parents, they can apply also if they are at least 62 years old.
That's absolutely correct.
And that financial support is at least 0.5%, so very important because, as a matter of fact, when I was a claims representative, I had a case in which the worker was disabled. We pay benefits to the worker, but the worker, when she passed away, we were able to provide benefits to her mother, who was taking care of her, who was really a dependent of the worker.
Absolutely.
We also have medical benefits available to workers that become disabled at any age. Medicare. Can you tell us, please, about Medicare? Because we talked about Medicare before, and we know that Medicare starts at 65, but it can be given to younger workers.
Absolutely. With Social Security, the disabled individual can receive Medicare 24 months after receiving disability payments. However, there's other circumstances and disabling conditions that perhaps will allow for Medicare to come into place much sooner than that. For example, it could be end-stage renal disease and also Lou Gehrig's disease. So it's very important for the number holder to be actually aware of, the type of benefits that Social Security provides and the services that we provide. It is important also for the individual to also contact Social Security and ask those questions and inquire about that. Also for the, if we have an adult disabled child who is receiving benefits under a father or a mother, that individual will be able to receive also Medicare under that record too as well.
Very important because, of course, a person that has a disability needs all that Medicare care.
Absolutely.
And in some cases, even people that have Medicare might be eligible to other benefits at a state level because, of course, Medicare doesn't pay for all medical expenses.
Absolutely,
So,
yes.
Some people with lower income and resources can apply also for state programs under the Medicaid legislations for
Absolutely, that's
additional
also true. It's
benefits.
part of the good reason for the individual to actually inquire at Social Security about the potential benefits that they can receive outside of that. Like, for example, Maryland is actually a Medicaid state, and they deal with that differently than what it is in Virginia. So it's very important for the number holder or the worker to be in tune or be informed, well informed about what benefits are available to them, especially when they become disabled.
Exactly. And once a person meets the minimum eligibility requirements and they need to file for benefits with us, what would be the best way to file for disability benefits?
Wonderful. Social Security has a couple of ways that you can actually apply for disability, and one of those ways is my preferred way. That will be the use of the internet. So if they go online and apply for disability, is it reassured that the person will, the office will receive that claim within 24 hours of submitting that claim. Also, the individual will have an opportunity to also contact Social Security for a phone interview, and they can do that. But also, they can also have an interview over the phone at the comfort of their home. So those are the many ways that you can actually apply for disability, and we encourage them to use all that information and all those resources that we have in our website too.
And you can visit us online at www.socialsecurity.gov. Complete the application entirely online. And the application has different steps, Millie, because you have to complete an application, you have to complete a disability report, and you also have to provide consent. Can you tell us a little bit more of these different parts?
Absolutely. I think that this is actually the most important part of the disability process, and that is that individual can actually apply whichever way they decide to go. And the most important thing is the application that they have to complete, but also they have to also complete a disability report, and they also had to provide Social Security with authorization to release information to our administration. And all this can be accomplished online. They can do it also over the phone, or they can do it over the in person. However, that piece of information that actually is going to mold that disability report and make it stronger and better, it will be the disability report. And that's where the individual has to put more emphasis and more effort of providing us with medications, medical sources. Even if they think that medical source is not significant, put all that information in there and provide that information to Social Security. The more complete the package, the more information we provide to the Social Security Administration, the better it's going to be the success of your disability process.
Yeah, they have to include most definitely a diagnosis, if there is a clear diagnosis.
Absolutely.
Because in some cases, they don't know.
Yes. So what I will encourage the individual to do, or the worker to do, is to actually provide as many. If diagnoses are important, but if you don't know the diagnosis, you can put something in there. Just provide us as many as you can, and give us a whole picture of what is going on, what's happening with you. Because combination of medical issues or severe issues with other conditions may perhaps provide for an allowance of that disability.
Yes, we will continue talking about the disability report, but we must go to a short break. Stay with us, because we are providing you all you need to know about disability benefits with Social Security.
We are there, day one, with baby names and a gift that lasts a lifetime. We are there as you grow, protecting you and those you love. We are there when you get your first job, helping you to save for the future. We are there when you marry your sweetheart, to help secure your new life together. We are there if the unexpected happens, to help you see life from a new perspective. We are there when you start your next chapter, to make sure you get off to a great start. And we are there when you lose your soulmate, to help make sure you will be all right. We are with you through life's journey. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Get to know us and see what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
This video produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Thank you for staying with us. We are talking to Millie Rothwell, talking everything that you need to know about disability. So, Millie, we were talking about how important that disability report is. Because it captures all the medical data.
Absolutely. And this is probably the most important part of this process, in that we need a complete picture of you. So that means that all the reports have to be completed. The application has to be completed too. But you have to provide a substance. So we need substance about your disabling condition. We're also going to be asking you about your work report, and your diagnosis are very important, and medication. So try as much as possible. The individual has to be very focused about, when completing this report, to provide us an entire picture about what is going on with their health, what is going on with their job history in the past, and also the medications that they're taking. So the better the report, the more substance, the better is going to be the outcome of that decision at the end.
Correct. Any symptoms that the person has should be included there. Anything that impacts the ability to work. And sometimes you mentioned medications. Sometimes medications can have a lot of side effects that can incapacitate the person, that makes the person being so sick that they are unable to go to work. So give us all that information.
Absolutely.
Because, as you said, the clear picture that we get, the faster that we can make a medical decision. And as a matter of fact, Millie, we, Social Security, do not make the medical decision.
That is correct.
We have a state agency, correct?
That is correct, actually. That is actually a myth that, Social Security makes that medical decision. What we do is we actually look at all that information, the process, the applications, and we send this to the Disability Determination Office, and it is a state agency who looks at that, who requests medical records, who requests all the information that they need, x-rays, labs, and things like that, to be able to make a decision. So if they have what they need, then they will be able to make a concise and precise, medical determination for you.
Yeah. Sometimes, when I work in the community, people tell me, I already applied with Social Security, but I receive some forms from a state agency asking me for more information that I already completed to Social Security. So it is good for them to understand that, yes, you might receive these forms to be completed, and that is actually the state agency requesting those.
That is correct, yes. Yeah, when the determination office sends information or send a package or a form to the individual or the worker, that person has to respond almost immediately because they need that information. That's part of the process of making that decision. So if there's something in there that they need information, especially on the daily activities, that's going to be something, one of the forms that they use to be able to capture information about whether the person is able to engage at home, how does their life, whether they're able to go grocery shopping, whether they're able to bathe, able to sleep, what do they do on their daily basis? They need that information. So when they receive that information, that package or that form, they need to complete it and return it back to us as soon as possible. That is in person or in the mail. We will be able to actually gather, obtain that information, send it to the determination office, so they can actually have make a medical decision for them as soon as possible.
And that is the reason why once the person applies, we always ask them, please keep us informed. Inform about changes of address, so we can really communicate with you. Your telephone number is very important. And in some cases also keep us informed, because if there is a new medical condition, you are diagnosed with another medical condition, let us know. If you have any other symptoms, if you have any hospitalizations from the time that you apply and after.
Any changes.
So keep us informed.
Absolutely. If any changes occur after they actually completed the application, please, they need to come back to the Social Security office and inform us of those changes. Very important. Address, telephone number, medical conditions, any new medical sources, all that will help to be able to make a good medical determination.
Yes, and how long does that medical determination is?
Well,
Can you tell us?
Well,
On average.
in average or perhaps in general terms, it can take from 3 to 5 months to render a decision. So that is if the medical determination office has all the information that is necessary to render that decision. So it's approximately from 3 to 5 months. There's certainly some other conditions that perhaps, will render a decision much sooner than that. And that could be within 30 days. And some of those conditions could be, compassionate allowances. It could be, somebody who actually has been diagnosed with cancer, and some other conditions that we have that we can actually find all those medical conditions online on our website. But there's certain decisions that are made much sooner than that, but in average it will be at 3 to 5 months.
You mentioned compassionate allowances. Can you please tell our audience what is compassionate allowances?
Sure. The compassionate allowances are pretty much, medical conditions that are determined and they're actually identified by Social Security as severe conditions, and they want to act upon those diagnoses and render a decision much sooner than that. And that could be, cancer. It could be some other conditions, that we haven't listed specifically and identified.
Yeah, we have about probably over 200.
200, yes.
200.
Too many to
and we
mention.
continue working with the medical community to make sure that all conditions that are disabling conditions, that we know that if the person has been diagnosed with one of them, is going to meet all of the criteria of eligibility under the definition of disability under Social Security. That is important for people to know. I always tell people, most of compassionate allowances, as you said, is cancers or very weird conditions. So sometimes when people say, I have this type of cancer, I have this type of condition that we never heard of, my first advice is take a look if your condition is under the compassionate allowances listing. So it's very important for people to know. What if an application is denied?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. If their application is actually denied, then we want to encourage the worker to immediately contact Social Security within the allowable time, which is approximately 60 days that they have. So they have several levels of appeals that they have, and they can exercise those rights. It is the right of the individual to actually apply and submit an appeals within that time. And they can submit it online. They can apply it online and submit their appeals online. They can also provide, a paper appeal to the local office and submit it. It has to be timely done and provide more medical sources and more information so that we can, help, to render the correct decision. The number holder has the right to challenge or to file an appeal if they disagree with the original decision.
How many opportunities will a person have in terms of appealing a decision?
Okay, so we have, Social Security has different levels. The first one, it will be the initial level. The second one will be the reconsideration level. And the third one will be the hearings level. There's also another level that is called the appeals cancel, which is actually a fourth level. And of course, we have another level. It will be the federal court. So at any time, I will actually recommend the worker to always exercise the right to file an appeal, because that translates at the long run of benefits that they can actually potentially receive in the future. So if not because, the medical decision, at initial level was actually denied, that doesn't mean that the person has to start from the beginning again. No, they have different levels of appeal that they actually can exercise.
Yeah, and as you said before, that in regards to the appeals, they have the right to challenge the decision that we have made. What I always tell people is that please look at the letter. Read the letter carefully. Make sure that you understand the reason why we are denying your application, so you can really provide documentation to prove the opposite, to prove that we are wrong by making that decision. Because sometimes we might say that you provided medical records from this doctor. Review that all of your doctors' medical records are there, that they will review, because that can make a difference.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So I will encourage everybody, it is important for them to exercise their appeals rights and to provide us more information if they feel that they actually have omitted something accidentally, to provide us that information at the next following level.
Exactly.
Very
Do
important.
anybody or applicants have to hire a lawyer to help them in the initial application process or even during the appeal?
Well, that's a great question. Social Security doesn't sponsor any attorney or a law firm or anything like that. However, the number holder or the worker has the right to hire an authorized representative, and that is, they could be an attorney, it could be an advocate, and they can actually do that. There's a lot more resources on our website that we provide to the worker when it comes to filing an appeal. So I will encourage them to actually look at the website. Also at the local level, the vast majority of the offices do have and keep in their offices a sheet of resources, and that is that they have nonprofit organizations, advocates, local agencies that can help them to complete the process of the appeals process all throughout.
Yes, for as long as we have the correct information, we are going to make the right decision on your case. Another question that I always get in the community, Millie, is if I start receiving disability benefits, for how long will I receive these benefits?
Well, certainly when we actually define disability, it's actually something that is actually permanent, right? However, Social Security has two different ways of reviewing your case. So we actually have what is called a medical review, and the other one is a work review. So we are going to contact the number holder at a later time, perhaps 7 years from now, perhaps 5 years from now, and we're going to review that case medically or via work, depending upon whether the person is actually working. Medically, it will be mainly to find out whether the person has actually medically improved. If the person is medically improved, then we actually are going to look for medical records. We're going to do the same process all over again, and we're going to actually see whether the person actually will be able to continue to receive those disability payments.
Correct, because once a person starts receiving disability benefits, they will continue receiving benefits. And another question that I always get is, will I receive a reduced benefit because I'm receiving disability? What is the payment? Because we pay as if the person is already full retirement age.
Oh, sure. So that means that when you are actually receiving disability payments are almost, if not close to what you would have received if you would have retired at full retirement age. So certainly, if you're going to apply for disability, you're going to receive that bulk of the money that you actually paid into Social Security. So it's not actually reduced. It's actually pretty much close to what you will receive at full retirement age.
It is.
So that's a pretty good deal.
Correct. Now, any additional resources that you can provide to our viewers? Any advice?
Well, you know what? I think that the most important thing that I would like to perhaps offer to the individuals itself is that I would like for them to complete and provide us as much information as they can on the disability report, provide us all that, and comply with completing all the forms that we send out to them. Also, that to contact Social Security at the local level and ask questions. Ask for any type of resources that they have available to them, and also to go into our website. Our website is probably the most and vast information about disability, and it's a complete definition. It's a complete package, online. So,
thank you, Millie, for
Thank you
being
so
with
much.
us today, and most definitely we will invite you again because you have much more to talk about Social Security benefits and also work incentives.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. If you missed the last episodes of Social Security Securing Today and Tomorrow, I invite you to join us online at mmctv.org. Until the next time, and remember, Social Security Securing Today and Tomorrow.